morning, everyone. Again, this is Mark Cabrera here. I'd like to talk to you guys about know when you need a coach. I know a lot of times we might think we already know what we know, but what we don't realize is we don't know what we don't know. And really, that's where our growth begins. Our growth begins in areas where we don't know a particular area of our business that we could be capitalizing on. Even though we think that we're doing well or we're doing okay already, but in reality, we could always do better. To me, it's always nice to have money. Money is like air. When you have air, you can breathe and you feel comfortable. But when you don't have air, you're looking for the air, right? That's exactly what money is. You're looking for it if your bills are coming in and there's no money to pay it. So I'm here to talk to you guys about how to grow your business and why a coach would be beneficial to you. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because a lot of the times we might already think that we're doing okay already, like I said. But the reality of it, our potential in real estate is unlimited. When I came into this business in 1995, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, wow, this business is unlimited potential. You can make as much as you want. But nobody ever told me that you can always lose money by paying all your dues and all your monthly fees and all that stuff. And it's also a bottomless pit. So you got the sky's the limit, and then you got the bottomless pit. So it's pretty much the choice is yours, because it's either you're growing in this business or you're dying in this business, and eventually you'll be out of business. So if you've been in this business for 3-4 years and you haven't sold a house yet, you may want to question yourself, why am I doing this? Is this like a hobby that I just want to spend money on? Or is it a business that I can make money on and change my lifestyle? So this is what we're going to talk about today. Know when you need a coach, because the coach will guide you through the process. The people that I'm coaching today makes a lot more. I'm saying a lot more. I have like agents right now, they're literally haven't produced for a year, and all of a sudden they're actually closing a transaction after 2-3 months of coaching. So, being coached makes a big difference, especially if the coach know exactly where you are in your business and where you need to be in your business. Because sometimes we don't know. And that's where I came in the first 4 years of my career, from 95 to 99. I was selling one house per year on average. So there's years that I didn't even sell a house. Probably I sold my last 3 out of the 4 houses I sold in 4 years is actually in the last 2 years of the business, because I finally learned some stuff, but not enough to really become full-time in the business. So not until I met a person that was in the same office that was producing transaction, and I came up to him and I said to him, hey, listen, you look very busy. How come you don't have an assistant? And he's like, well, I have an assistant, but my assistant doesn't do anything for me. And I told him, it's like, well, I'm with a broker. Why don't you trade me in? I'll do a lot of things for you. I clean up all these files and take care of your clients and stuff. So, and he asked me, like, how much you make? I was like, I make 45 grand a year. It's like, I can't afford you. I said, how much you want to pay? And he's like, I can only pay like $10 an hour. It's like $21,000 a year. I was like, you know what? I'll take that pay. And just pay me 10% of everything that I work on. And that's the beginning of where my career started. My first year doing exactly that. On my first year, I made $75,000. And that's from 60 transactions that I was able to work with him. So imagine 60 transactions, how many years it takes you to do 60 transactions, especially when you're starting without anyone showing you the business. It'll take you years. At that point, you'll have the same skill set that I end up getting in the first year of my career. So my second year, I broke over $105,000. And then the third year was like 180, fourth year over 200. And in 2003, the 1 year before I left him, he was paying me $300,000 a year. But here's the difference. It was on a 50-50 split. So I was getting paid 300 grand. And he came up to me one time, he wrote me a check for $92,000 in 1 month. And he said, nobody your age make this kind of money, right? And I told him, like, well, this is only half of it, right? The other half, I don't know anybody that actually makes $92,000 doing nothing, because at this point I'm doing everything because you already showed me the business. So I was giving back in that sense. So, and at some point he even offered me a $200,000 salary, and I told him like, no, it's okay. I'll keep keep working the way I'm working, because I know what my potential at that point is. And it was an eye opener for me to understand, because with me working with somebody who knew the business and I saw exactly how he does the business, more importantly, I understood the mindset that it requires to be successful in this business. See, it's really the difference between successful people in the business and doing mediocre. It's our ego that gets in our way, because we tend to actually think that we already know. How do you expect anyone to teach you anything if they think you already know because you tell them you already know? And that's the biggest difference, because we hold ourselves back in terms of what we think we already know. But in reality, we don't know enough. If you're not making the income of the person that's teaching you the business, then you could learn from that person. That's the way I actually, the general rule I have with the people I mentor. If you're making the same or more income than I do at this point, you don't need me. You need someone else. You need someone on the next level of wherever you want to be. But as long as you're not surpassing my income, even as a mentor, I mean, I've seen some mentors out there, they kind of focus their energies in training and development and stuff like that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I still focus myself in my training and development with the other agents that I'm working with. But the biggest difference is I'm also a producer. I still produce transactions. So that's the most important part. And I still have goals. I just slacked off in the this past year. I mean, this is one of my slowest year if you look at all my numbers actually over the years, because you can pull that on Bright MLS. But I'm getting back into it because I love the business. This business is amazing. The most money you can make, unlimited money you can make. And people don't hone into this. And what they don't realize is what's getting in their way is themselves. So this is what we're going to talk about today, and why a coach will be very helpful, because that coach will point out to you things that you never actually get to see and understand exactly a different perspective of the way you would run your business. So when do you need a coach? You need a coach when you need motivation. You need a coach when you need ideas. You need a coach to plan your business so you have a step-by-step process that you can follow, and it's a turnkey scenario for you. You need someone to make sure that you're implementing the process. You need accountability, and you need to be able to be adaptable, be able to adjust to certain things going on in the marketplace. See, one thing is to know a particular niche. Another thing is to understand where the next niche is coming. Because the reality of it, it's not the survival of the fittest, that like the Darwin idea. What he meant by the fittest is the adaptable. It's survival of the most adaptable. So if you look at the animals that survived over centuries and centuries, it's not because there's the strongest, because the dinosaurs actually, you would consider the strongest. Why they're not here now? Because they're not able to adapt. When changes started to happen in the world, they were not able to actually survive the changes. So you have to understand, real estate is a constantly evolving, changing industry. Our industry 20 years ago, man, I'm getting old actually. Think about it. 26 years ago, just started a buyer's agency when I first came in. So I started writing, I was a gung-ho. I was like, oh my gosh, they just passed the law in 94 and it's 95. I can write offers that actually has buyer agency agreement. People received it and they're like, no, seller doesn't want buyer's agent here. Buy our house. We only want seller representation. So people didn't understand. So it took another year or 2 years before the buyer's agent's idea was, the agency idea came about. That's how old I am in this business. I was using DOS and nobody was showing me the codes to actually put on DOS to actually pull properties, okay? I didn't make it to the Rolodex part because that was before me, okay? That was like in the 80s when they actually had the Rolodex. The Rolodex was a big thing where you actually pull the properties on your Rolodex and your phone numbers, and you staple the business card of the people you meet on the Rolodex. Okay. I still have that Rolodex, as a matter of fact, but I never made it to that phase of the industry. And then you see the changes that happen when we actually go into electronic signature, electronic filing. That was actually in 05, 06. Nobody was doing DocuSign. I was doing DocuSign when it came out in 06. And I wish I knew about stock market because I would have dumped my money in that sucker because I really believed on the idea of everything's going to go electronic. I mean, I had my live drive in 05. 2005, I was filing everything electronically. And one day when I got audited with my business, I had like 24 hours to print all the contracts. All I did is like had my assistant like print all of it. So we're printing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of files and then putting them in paper clips to actually for the auditor the next day to audit our work, because that's basically what auditors do. But that was actually electronic. It moved. But not until, if you notice, 5, 7, 8 years later, electronic signatures became a standard. The point I'm trying to make to you guys, a lot of things move. You have to be able to move with exactly where the business is going. And another thing I can tell you is when you're looking at your business and you're looking at marketing, back then, publication was the biggest. You have the Real Estate Move magazine, Home Buyers Journal, right, sitting on that stuff. Nowadays, who picks those up? I mean, you can see properties on your phone. Why the heck are you going to pick up a magazine for? I mean, what, so you can throw away a magazine? I mean, so the point is everything is evolving and changing. And these are some of the examples I'm giving you guys because at the end of the day, either you adapt to the changes that are happening or you'll die out of the business. So that's where your coach comes in. Your coaching. If you looking at the best athletes out there in the world, like a Michael Jordan, you think he did it by himself? Not at all. He had a coach to guide him exactly what he needed to do, but he had not the ability, but the mentality. See, all these basketball players, mind you, they have the same skills. It's the difference of how they think, how confident they are, and how they move around the court. And if you look at some of the best players, they're the biggest trash talker in the basketball court, in the field. You're looking at, I didn't even know, Larry Bird was like a really, really trash talker. I mean, a huge trash talker. But yet he actually performed. One of the reasons why is because there's a psychology to everything that we do. And this is really where it boils down to. When you change your way of looking at the world, you change those lenses, right? You change the way you do business. And what I'm saying doing business is if you have the right coach, it'll get you to where you need to go because your mindset is in the right place and your decisions are more precise and your decisions are better thought of. And your communications with people become more attractive, more influential. And this is basically where it boils down to. And the better you get at improving your mindset, the better you are to be able to pick up clients. And I'll give you that example later on down the line. So, where are you in the business? That's the next question we'll be asking, right? Are you starting out? Just haven't sold a lot of houses starting out? See, it's not the number of years that matter in the business, it's the number of transactions. So a person that sells like 100 houses on their first year has more experience than a person who's been in the business for 20 years that sold 10. Okay? So when people tell me, oh, I've been in the business for 20 years. Okay. I'm not even interested in that. How many transactions have you done? Because to me, that's how I know whether you're new in the business or you've been doing this for a while. Because if you tell me that I've only sold like 5 houses and you've been in the business 5 years, then I know you're still new. because selling 5 houses, I mean, literally, I actually done that in one day. I mean, I've sold 9 houses in one weekend, wrote 13 offers, and ratified 9 over the weekend in like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By Monday, I had like 9 offers ratified, closing, and closed. I closed at the end of the month. But the point I'm trying to make to you is, it's like, that's the difference. You see what I'm saying? Because if you really want to make a change in your life and change your lifestyle in being in this real estate business, then you need to understand that it's your mindset that's holding you back. It's your attitude. So here's the difference. My wife and I are having a conversation, and she says to me, well, Mark, everything looks okay. It's like, looks great. But it's because of this, and this is not working. And my response to that is, well, those are all excuses why it's not working. The bottom line is, it can work if you remove all the excuses. See, we have all the reasons why we don't succeed, but yet we dream about success. We dream about making hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars and living in a nice lifestyle and everything. But then we don't actually act on it because we have all these reasons why we're not able to do it. But the reality of it is, the minute all those excuses go away, it's just a matter of time. If you diligently, consistently, with passion, go after what you want in life. And once you do that, everything changes. Because nobody gets in the way. This is my number one rule. I don't wait for anyone. That's basically what I can tell you. So if I'm actually going after something and someone gets in my way, oh, can we do that tomorrow? Because I'm like, no, you can step aside. I'll continue doing what I need to do. And sometimes they call me stubborn because of that. But to me, I don't really care what people think about me, right? What I care about is if I go after something, right? If I do something I want to do I get it done? Do I get accomplished? Otherwise, don't even start. This is my other rule.